It's the start of the new week, so in this video we're going to be going over all of the new PlayStation 4 game releases this week. On top of that, we've got some very exciting news about Spider-Man. It seems like new information about this game is coming out every day ahead of its September 7th release. We're getting very close to it. And now we're getting more gameplay details, and one specific thing has a lot of people very excited. It's a very minor thing, but it'll make Spider-Man feel a lot more authentic. On top of that, it looks like there's some shortage on the stock of PlayStation 4 Pro, so I want to cover that a little bit as well, and how you might be able to get your hands on a PS4 Pro, because a lot of the various e-tailers are completely out of stock of those. More on those topics after we talk about all of the new game releases this week, and we have quite a few new games to talk about. 6 games in total to be exact, so let's get started. First up, we've got the full release of a highly anticipated free-to-play game already in beta right now. H1Z1 Battle Royale is having its full release on August 7th. Now, I know to a lot of you guys the Battle Royale genre is beginning to get played out, but I'm telling you, step out of your hardcore gaming bubble for a second. There is a gigantic audience of these Battle Royale games, and until the casual market gets sick of these games, these are still gonna roll out, and H1Z1 is a Battle Royale that's gained some sort of traction. Not as big as Fortnite, of course, but it's a notable BR in the market anyway. And the fact of the matter is, the majority of these games are free to play, or in the case of Black Ops 4, it's just an added on game mode. I don't think it's too big of an issue, because if you're not into the genre, you can just avoid it. And it's not really taking away from the good gaming experiences we have so far. But if you are into Battle Royale, H1Z1 having its full release is great. You probably already checked out the beta, and that's been rather good. The full release is bringing with it some new content, and again, that'll be coming on August 7th. Next up, we also have the release of Overcooked 2 on August 7th. If you told me that a quirky cooking simulator game like Overcooked would gain as much traction as it did, I wouldn't have believed you. But there you have it, the game did so well, and now we have Overcooked 2. The game itself has teams of up to 4 players cooperatively prepare and cook orders in absurd restaurants. You chop and cook ingredients, combine them on plates, and serve dishes via a conveyor belt. Between coordinating short orders and bumping into each other's characters, the game lends itself to being an overwhelming experience, but in the best way possible. The sequel will, of course, build upon the mechanics of the original game with new interactive levels, restaurant themes, chef costumes, and recipes. Overcooked 2 is dropping on August 7th. Next up, a highly anticipated Metroidvania title making its way over to the PlayStation 4, Dead Cells, is also dropping on August 7th. Dead Cells is more described as a Roguevania, a combination of procedurally generated roguelike games and action exploration-based Metroidvania games. You control a mass of cells that occupy and control the body of a deceased prisoner at the start of the game. As you explore a series of dungeon and fight creatures within, they collect weapons, armors, abilities, power-ups, and money. Some enemies will also drop cells when defeated, which can be used to obtain permanent power-ups such as additional health potions or new items. That's where the Metroidvania aspect really comes into play. Dead Cells is a game that's already been released on PC, and it's been received incredibly well. To see it make its way over to the PlayStation 4 is going to be great. Again, it drops August 7th. A physical version of the game is dropping in the coming weeks as well. Next up, we also have Flipping Death releasing on August 7th. In Flipping Death, you take on the role as the recently deceased Penny. You help ghosts with their curious problems while also solving the mystery around your own demise in a puzzle adventure game. You can flip the entire world with the press of a button, possess the living, and use them to solve puzzles. Innovative physics combined with immersive storytelling is being touted, and it's said to be a unique mix of adventure and platforming set in a twisted, rich, and colorful world. The game is also seen as a spiritual successor to the game Stick It to the Man, so that's something to note as well. Flipping Death will be dropping on the PlayStation 4 on August 7th.
Did the ice cream just talk to me? Possess and control the living to help the ghosts with their problems.
Got any super glue?
Curse that Dr. Laser!
He wasn't even a good kisser.
Why am I doing this?
Next up, we have Slamland coming on August 7th. Slamland is a very quirky multiplayer game. It's touted as a magnificent new 4-player couch competitive fighting and party game. It has you select your fighter, punch, grab, and dunk your way through 5 game modes, and the surreal world overseen by a benevolent giant whose only amusement in life is to witness sporting and majestic slams. Yes, it's a very quirky game. It's not a game you're gonna take all too seriously, but for multiplayer fun, Slamland might be one to check out. It drops on the PlayStation 4 on August 7th.
Me, the giant blue man.
And lastly, another pretty major title is We Happy Few, which is releasing on August 10th. We Happy Few is a first-person game that combines elements from a variety of different genres, from role-playing, survival, and light roguelike elements. The game is also touting a story focus with a strong narrative while underlining gameplay with a sense of paranoia and designing in-game decisions to moral gray areas and weight. That'll also influence the latter parts of the game. One of the standouts of We Happy Few has to be the setting, and it's based on various elements of 60s British culture. And this is a title being done by the studio Compulsion Game, and this is going to be their last title that'll probably be released on the PlayStation 4 because they just have been acquired by Microsoft, so that's something to note. The early word on We Happy Few has been relatively positive, so to see it have its full release on the PlayStation 4, that's going to be pretty nice. Again, it's dropping on August 10th.
Wakey, everyone. And it's another fabulous day in Wellington World. Do what you should be doing, and you never have to worry.
Sally?
Arthur, we're practically the only 2 people in this entire city not stoned out of our minds on joy.
It's not a lovely day for it. It's a terrible day for it.
So those are all of the new game releases this week. Highlights have to be Dead Cells. That game looks absolutely fantastic. Again, already released on PC. It's been received very, very well over there, and I'm sure it'll be received just as well on the PlayStation 4. Overcooked 2 is a sequel to a game that was received very, very well, and it's building upon that first game. So this is another title that has a lot of potential. H1Z1 for you Battle Royale lovers, that's something to check out. So all around, not any huge AAA releases, but games like Dead Cells and Overcooked 2 are definitely ones to check out. Moving on from that, we've got some news on Spider-Man, some gameplay details exactly, and this is coming from Meg Downey over on her Twitter account. She's of IGN, and she tweeted this, quote, "I played the first few hours of PS4 Spider-Man the other week, and the most important thing I can tell you, in the menus you could access the official Spider-Man Twitter account. Pete runs and read his timeline, which populates with new tweets on the regular. It is good." That to me sounds awesome. An artificial Twitter account that Spider-Man is just tweeting stuff. That just adds to making Spider-Man an authentic experience and making you feel like a superhero. I think that's a great way to modernize Spider-Man, and a very nice touch added to the game by Insomniac. She also tweeted, "You can also high five and selfie with people on the street, and it gives you XP. It's hands down the most authentic Spider-Man experience ever." One of the tweets on Pete's timeline that I remember was someone talking about publishing their self-insert Spider-Man fanfiction, and I immediately became stronger and more powerful than I've ever been while playing a video game. Yes, I know this isn't a focal gameplay element of Spider-Man, but all of these little things coming together I think are just going to enhance the overall experience that this Spider-Man game is going to offer. It's already one of the most anticipated games of the latter half of the year. Honestly, in terms of the most anticipated games, I put Spider-Man right up there with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout 76. I think that's how big of a game this is going to be. Of course, Spider-Man will fall a little bit short in terms of sales numbers because it is a PlayStation 4 exclusive, while those other 2 aforementioned games are multi-platform. But still, I see this game being very, very big, and I think Insomniac are going to nail it from a commercial and critical standpoint. And lastly, speaking of Spider-Man, Spider-Man is getting a PlayStation 4 Pro console, and that brings me to the fact that the PlayStation 4 Pro console looks to be having its stock running low in the United States. This was pointed out by Push Square, and they said they had a quick online and couldn't find the console at Amazon, Walmart, or Best Buy. However, some stores are still taking pre-orders for the limited edition Spider-Man console, so if you want a PlayStation 4 Pro, that's probably the route you're gonna want to go. I don't know if this is a case where the demand for the PS4 Pro is so high, or it's an instance where a lot of people are just picking up the standalone PlayStation 4. Yes, for somebody like me and a lot of you guys, you want the best performing hardware possible, and for you, the PS4 Pro is right up your alley. For a lot of other people who are just playing games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, and those big marquee titles, and they're not so into the minute performance details, saving $100 and going with the base PS4 probably sounds a lot more attractive to those people. But still, the fact that the console isn't available at all at Amazon, Walmart, or Best Buy, that is kind of surprising, and that would lead me to believe that people are buying the console, because on one sense, you could say you can save $100 and get the weaker platform. Well, you could also say you're only paying $100 and you're getting a superior platform for a lot of people. That seems like an easy decision to make. I was just looking at it from both sides of the spectrum. But again, as I mentioned, if you do want to pick up a PS4 Pro, my recommendation is to go ahead and pre-order the Spider-Man console. It looks great, the value's great, you get the console, you get the game, and it's the digital deluxe edition of the game as well, just a bargain in my eyes. But kind of interesting to see that stock is running a little low on that. The base PS4 is readily available everywhere. So that's gonna conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts. Are you checking out any of the new game releases this week? I think Dead Cells is gonna be the standout game this week, and that has potential to be very popular. Let us know what you think about Spider-Man. The fact that he'll have his own Twitter account, I think that's really cool. The fact that you can high-five civilians and get XP for that, I think this is shaping up to be a very authentic Spider-Man experience, and let us know. What do you think about the console? Do you think it's a necessary improvement over the PS4? And if you were to buy a PS4 or PS4 Pro, which route would you go? Is that performance improvement worth the extra $100, or would you just stick to the base console? Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.